There is a voice within you, a voice you may have ignored, stifled, or rejected time and time again. This voice doesn't speak in words, but it speaks in the chaos, the confusion, the frustrations of your life. It's the whisper you hear in the quiet moments of self-reflection, the nagging sense that something is off, that something is wrong, but you can't quite pinpoint what it is. It's that feeling that, no matter how hard you try, you keep coming up against walls, obstacles, and setbacks that seem to defy explanation. You may think it's your circumstances, your bad luck, or the people around you holding you back. But deep down, you know that there's something more, something deeper within you, pulling you in directions you can't understand. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Think about that for a moment. The reason you keep sabotaging yourself isn't because you're weak or incapable or unworthy of success. It's because there are forces within you, unconscious forces, that are at play, silently dictating your life. These forces aren't external. They come from the very depths of your being. They are born of your experiences, your fears, your hidden desires, and your unresolved wounds. They are the shadows that you refuse to face, the parts of you that you don't want to see, but that are controlling your every move. Your life is not happening by accident. It's not a series of random events strung together. Every setback, every failure, every self-sabotage is part of a deeper pattern, a cycle that you are unconsciously perpetuating. You have learned, whether through the wounds of childhood, the betrayals of those closest to you, or the disappointments of adulthood, that you are not worthy of the life you desire. You have learned to expect disappointment, to create excuses, to back away from greatness because, deep down, you believe it's not meant for you. But this belief, this limiting belief, is nothing but a construct. It is a lie that you've been telling yourself for years, and the longer you let this lie control you, the more you sabotage your chances at happiness, success, and fulfillment. It's time to break free. The truth is that the first step in ending this cycle of self-sabotage is recognizing it for what it is. You have to acknowledge the parts of you that are in conflict. The mind says, "I want success. I want love. I want peace." But the unconscious mind, the deep, hidden parts of you, say, "No, you don't. You're not capable of it. You'll fail just like before." This is the first battleground, the internal war between your conscious desires and your unconscious beliefs. The war that determines whether you rise to your fullest potential or stay stuck in the same patterns that have kept you bound for years. And the only way out of this war is through integration, the integration of the unconscious into the conscious. This is where Jung's concept of the shadow comes in. Your shadow is the part of you that holds all the things you've repressed, all the aspects of yourself you've rejected, because they don't fit into your idealized image of who you think you should be. It's the anger, the jealousy, the shame, the fear, the parts of you that you hide from others, and most importantly, from yourself. But here's the thing. Your shadow is not your enemy. In fact, it holds the key to your liberation. Until you confront it, until you embrace it, you will remain in a constant state of conflict with yourself. And in this conflict, you will continue to sabotage your own success. When you deny the shadow, you deny your full potential. When you refuse to look at the parts of yourself that you find ugly or uncomfortable, you leave them unchecked to manifest in destructive ways. Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." This is the challenge that lies before you. Accept yourself fully, the good, the bad, the light, and the dark. Only then will you stop fighting against yourself, and only then will you stop sabotaging your life. It is only through self-acceptance that you can begin to break the patterns that have held you hostage for so long. But self-acceptance is not about resigning yourself to your flaws. It's about acknowledging them, understanding them, and integrating them into your conscious self. It's about recognizing that you are not defined by your mistakes, your failures, or your fears. You are defined by your willingness to learn, to grow, to rise above the chaos within you. This integration is where the power lies. It's in the awareness that you are both light and dark, both saint and sinner, both perfect and imperfect. The moment you stop rejecting the darkness within you is the moment you begin to transform it. But transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's not an easy path. It's not a quick fix. It's a long, challenging journey of confronting your deepest fears, your greatest wounds, and your most destructive patterns. But it's the only path that leads to true freedom. You see, the reason you keep sabotaging your life is because you are afraid of your own power. You are afraid of what might happen if you step into your full potential. You are afraid of the unknown, of what life might look like if you stopped playing small and finally took control. But it's time to stop being afraid. It's time to stop hiding from the person you were always meant to be. The power you seek is not out there, waiting for you to discover it. It's already inside you. It always has been. You have the ability to create the life you want, but first, you must stop sabotaging yourself. You must stop believing the lies that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you can't succeed. This is the work of a lifetime. The work of confronting your deepest fears, your darkest desires, and your most painful wounds. It's the work of becoming whole. It's the work of integrating your light and your dark, your conscious and your unconscious, into a unified whole. Only then can you truly begin to manifest the life you desire. And this is where the real power comes in. Once you've integrated your shadow, once you've stopped running from your fears and embraced your deepest self, you will no longer sabotage your own success. You will no longer push away the very things you've been asking for. You will begin to take bold, empowered actions toward your dreams. You will begin to live a life of purpose, clarity, and vision. You will take ownership of your destiny. And when you do, you will find that the universe itself begins to conspire in your favor. But it all starts with this: the recognition that you are not broken. You are not weak. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a powerful creator, capable of shaping your life into something extraordinary. So, stop sabotaging your life. Stop listening to the voices of doubt and fear. Stop allowing your unconscious beliefs to dictate your reality. It's time to wake up. It's time to step into your power. It's time to embrace your shadow, integrate your light and dark, and become the person you were always meant to be. The life you've been waiting for is within reach. It's been waiting for you all along, but you have to choose it, and you have to choose it now. This is your time, this is your moment. Don't let it pass you by. The only thing standing between you and the life you've always wanted is you. So rise up, take ownership, face your shadow, and watch as the world around you begin to shift, align, and open up to the greatness you were always destined for. The path forward is not for the faint of heart. It is a path that demands courage, resilience, and above all, the willingness to confront the deepest, most uncomfortable parts of yourself. But it is the path that leads to freedom. The freedom to live without the constraints of self-doubt, fear, or self-sabotage. The freedom to become the fullest expression of who you truly are. Remember this: you are not the sum of your past mistakes. You are not the person you once were, weighed down by your fears and limitations. You are a living, breathing testament to the power of change. But change requires that you move forward with conviction. It requires that you stop seeking approval from others, stop waiting for external validation, and stop hiding behind excuses that only keep you trapped in a cycle of disappointment. It's easy to point fingers at the world and blame your circumstances for your lack of progress. But the truth is, everything you need to succeed is already within you. The only thing holding you back is the narrative you've been telling yourself. It's the story you've been living, the story that says you can't, that you're not capable, that you'll never be good enough. But that story is not your truth. Your truth is that you are powerful beyond measure. Your truth is that you have the ability to shape your life in any way you choose. Your truth is that, despite everything you've been through, you are worthy of every dream you've ever had. The question is, are you ready to step into that truth? Are you ready to stop hiding from your potential and embrace the greatness that lies dormant within you? This is the moment to let go of the past, to let go of the story that has kept you small, that has kept you hiding in the shadows of fear and self-doubt. It's time to rewrite the narrative of your life. It's time to create a new story, one where you are the hero, the creator, the architect of your own destiny. A story where you rise no matter the setbacks. A story where you no longer sabotage your dreams, but take deliberate action toward them every single day. Your potential is limitless, but it will never be realized until you stop sabotaging your own progress. The self-doubt, the fear, the shame, they only have as much power as you allow them to have. It's time to take that power back. So ask yourself, what is it that you truly want? What is the life you've been dreaming of? What is the vision that has been quietly stirring within you, waiting for you to claim it? The answer is closer than you think. It's already within you. The dreams you've held on to are not impossible. They are not out of reach. You simply need to start believing in yourself and take action. It all starts with the decision to move forward, to leave the past behind and embrace the unknown, to trust that, even when the road is difficult, you are capable of overcoming it. Every obstacle, every setback, is an opportunity for growth. You don't need to fear failure. You need to embrace it as part of your journey. You are not defined by your failures. You are defined by your ability to rise again after every fall. The power to transform your life is within you. You don't need anyone else to tell you that. You don't need validation from others. You need to trust yourself, to listen to your inner voice, and to take action, no matter how small, toward your goals. And when you do, when you stop sabotaging your life and begin to take ownership of your future, you will witness the unfolding of your greatest potential. You will see the patterns of self-doubt and self-sabotage dissolve, replaced with a new sense of clarity and purpose. You will discover that the life you've always wanted was always within reach, waiting for you to claim it. But remember, the journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up every day, no matter how difficult, and taking the next step forward. It's about being willing to face your fears, to look your shadow in the eye, and to say, I am no longer afraid of you. I will integrate you. I will make you part of my journey. This is the work of transformation. This is the work of becoming the fullest expression of who you truly are. And it is the most rewarding work you will ever do. So take that first step. Step into your power. Step into the life you were always meant to live. Your future is waiting, and it's waiting for you to claim it. You are ready. You are worthy. And you are capable of achieving greatness beyond your wildest dreams. The question is, will you step up and claim it? The time for waiting is over. The time for self-doubt is finished. What are you waiting for? There is no more room for hesitation, no more space for excuses. The world doesn't wait, and neither should you. You are not just an observer of your life. You are the creator, the artist, the builder of your own destiny. You are the one who gets to decide how this story unfolds. Every moment that you spend in indecision or procrastination is a moment lost. But every moment you choose to move forward, to take bold, deliberate action, is a moment that propels you closer to the life you were always meant to lead. It's not about the perfect conditions, the perfect time, or the perfect plan. It's about showing up, even when the way is unclear, even when the path seems impossible, even when the world around you feels uncertain. There will be moments when you question your path. There will be times when you feel like giving up. But in those moments, you must remember this: the only way forward is through. You have already faced obstacles in your life, and you've overcome every single one. This new challenge, it's no different. You have the strength, the resilience, and the power to push through, to break through the barriers that have kept you from your potential. Don't be afraid of the discomfort that comes with growth. It is in those uncomfortable moments that transformation happens. It is in those times of struggle and doubt that the seed of greatness is planted. The world's greatest achievers, the ones who have made the most profound impacts on humanity, were not the ones who took the easiest path. They were the ones who faced fear and doubt and chose to move forward anyway. And so it is with you. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. You don't need to know every step of the journey. What you need is the courage to take the first step, to commit to the journey, and to trust that the next step will reveal itself in time. And as you begin to move forward, you'll start to notice something incredible. The weight of self-sabotage will begin to lift. The chains of fear and doubt that have held you captive for so long will start to break apart. You will feel lighter. You will feel freer. And the life you've always wanted will slowly start to materialize before your eyes. The only thing standing between you and the life you've always dreamed of is the decision to go after it. And that decision? It's entirely in your hands. No one else can make it for you. No one else can walk this journey for you. This is your path, your life, your destiny. So what will you choose? Will you keep sabotaging your potential? Will you keep holding yourself back with excuses and fear? Or will you finally choose to believe in yourself, to trust in your power, and to take that first bold step toward the life you deserve? The choice is yours, and the time is now. The life you've always wanted is waiting for you to claim it. Don't wait another moment. Step into your power. Step into your greatness. Step into the life that is calling your name. The world is waiting for you, and so is your future. We are, in essence, creatures of patterns, habitual beings who shape our lives through the patterns we choose to follow. But what happens when those patterns are self-destructive? What happens when the very forces that should empower us become chains that bind us to a cycle of failure, frustration, and disappointment? The answer lies deep within the human psyche, within the unconscious mind that so often shapes the choices we make. Carl Jung, the pioneer of analytical psychology, taught us that we are all, in a sense, prisoners of our own minds, prisoners not of our conscious awareness, but of the unconscious forces that drive us. These forces are often the result of old wounds, suppressed desires, and unresolved conflicts that we have yet to face. When we repeatedly sabotage ourselves, we're often unconsciously acting out a drama that we've inherited from the past, a drama that we haven't fully understood, a play that we're trapped in without realizing it. This is why, when we seek to break free from self-sabotage, we must first confront the shadow within us. The shadow, as Jung put it, is the dark side of our personality, the part of us that contains everything we reject or deny about ourselves. It is the collection of all our fears, weaknesses, and desires that we've pushed out of our conscious awareness, often because they don't fit the image we want to project to the world. But this shadow doesn't go away just because we ignore it. It only grows stronger, more insistent, and more destructive. The shadow within. Imagine for a moment a darkened room within the depths of your mind. Inside that room are all the things you've ever feared, all the parts of you that you've tried to hide from the world, and perhaps even from yourself. These things are not inherently evil or wrong, but they have been labeled as such because they don't fit into the neat narrative you've created for your life. These unloved, unacknowledged parts of yourself become the shadows that linger in the corners of your consciousness, waiting to rise up at the most inopportune times. We sabotage ourselves because we are afraid to face these shadows. We fear that if we acknowledge them, we will lose control of our lives, that they will consume us and strip us of our sense of self. But what Jung understood, and what modern psychology continues to explore, is that this fear is the very thing that perpetuates the cycle of self-destruction. The more we resist the shadow, the more powerful it becomes. When we deny our own pain, our weaknesses, and our unresolved issues, they begin to control us from the unconscious. Our sabotaging behaviors, procrastination, self-doubt, addiction, or any other form of self-destructive pattern, are often nothing more than unconscious attempts to avoid the confrontation with this inner darkness. The power of self-awareness. So, how do we break free from this? How do we stop sabotaging ourselves and begin to live fully in the light? It starts with self-awareness. Self-awareness is the tool that helps us illuminate the shadow and begin the process of integration. But self-awareness is not easy. It requires courage to look at the parts of ourselves that we would rather ignore. It takes strength to face our vulnerabilities and acknowledge our flaws. But it is only by confronting our shadows that we can begin to heal. By acknowledging the parts of ourselves that we've rejected, we create space for transformation. And transformation, as Jung would say, is the key to liberation. To truly understand the forces that drive us, we must first bring them into the light. When we allow ourselves to see the shadow, we take away its power. Instead of allowing it to sabotage our every effort, we integrate it into our conscious awareness. This process of integration is not about eliminating the shadow. It is about accepting it, understanding it, and learning to live with it in harmony. As Jung so eloquently put it, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. This is the beginning of the end of self-sabotage. When we stop running from the shadow, when we stop resisting the parts of ourselves that we find uncomfortable, we begin to reclaim our power. And it is in this reclamation of power that we become the creators of our own lives, breaking free from the cycle. But self-awareness alone is not enough. Once we understand the shadow, we must take action, and that action is driven by clarity. When we confront our shadow, we gain clarity, not just about our past, but about our future. We begin to understand the patterns that have kept us trapped, and we start to see the path forward. This clarity is what enables us to break free from the cycle of self-sabotage. It allows us to make choices that are aligned with our true selves, not the distorted versions we've created in response to fear, pain, and shame. When we are clear about who we are, what we want, and what we are capable of, we stop sabotaging ourselves because we no longer live in fear of what might happen if we succeed. But clarity alone is not enough either. There is another critical element that must come into play: action. Action is the bridge between our dreams and our reality. It is the force that propels us forward when everything else seems to be holding us back. And it is only through consistent, deliberate action that we can begin to break free from the chains of self-sabotage. Action requires discipline, and discipline is born out of a deep understanding of our purpose. Action demands that we step beyond our comfort zones, beyond the familiar shadows of our insecurities and fears. When we face our shadows and begin to take bold, deliberate steps, something powerful happens. We start to create a new path for ourselves, one that is not dictated by our past wounds or self-doubt, but by the strength we've cultivated through confronting our innermost fears. The action becomes not only the tool of transformation, but the very essence of our liberation. Jung understood that transformation is not a quick fix, nor is it a process of simply thinking our way to a better life. Transformation is an ongoing journey, a deliberate effort to transcend the patterns that have kept us locked in a cycle of self-sabotage. It is through consistent action aligned with clarity, discipline, and purpose, that we begin to rewire the brain, reprogram our habits, and create a new reality. It's not easy. It requires waking up every day with the determination to face the discomfort that comes with change, to challenge the beliefs that have held us captive for so long. But through this commitment, we begin to see the fruits of our labor. We begin to feel the surge of power that comes with reclaiming our own agency. The discipline of purpose. Discipline, however, is not about rigid control or punishment. It is the conscious commitment to showing up for our dreams and goals, even when it feels difficult, even when the shadow whispers doubts into our ear. Discipline is an act of self-respect. It is the embodiment of our purpose, the expression of our highest potential in the world. When we step into the flow of discipline, we no longer feel as if we are fighting against ourselves. Instead, we feel as though we are in harmony with our deepest truths. Our actions become aligned with the higher vision of who we want to be, not the person we once were, weak, confused, and driven by fear. To live a life free from self-sabotage requires us to give up the illusion of comfort. We cannot remain in the same patterns of thought and behavior and expect to manifest change. We must be willing to let go of the false sense of safety that keeps us stagnant, trapped in old stories that no longer serve us. Gratitude and transformation. As we continue our journey, we come to realize that self-sabotage is not simply an obstacle, it is an opportunity for growth. Every time we stumble, every time we fall into old patterns, we are presented with the chance to rise higher than before. The key is to shift our perspective. When we learn to embrace the struggle, when we begin to see the challenges we face not as setbacks but as necessary steps in our evolution, we transform our relationship with life. We cultivate gratitude, not just for the successes but for the failures too. For it is in the moments of difficulty that we learn the most about ourselves. These moments, these confrontations with our own limitations, are the very tests that help us forge the character necessary for true success. Gratitude, then, is not just a passive emotion. It is an active force that propels us forward. It is the acknowledgement that every part of the journey, the good, the bad, the painful, and the joyous, is part of our process of self-actualization. When we begin to practice gratitude, we unlock the door to the wisdom and power that lies within our deepest struggles. Adaptability and resilience. The process of transformation, however, does not stop once we begin to take action. It requires a deeper level of resilience, an unwavering commitment to keep going even when life doesn't follow the path we envisioned. Adaptability is key in this phase. As we grow and evolve, we must be able to adjust our expectations, our methods, and sometimes even our goals. The journey will not always be linear. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and moments where you feel like you've lost your way. But this is where resilience becomes indispensable. Resilience is not about never falling. It is about how quickly you get back up. It is about understanding that failure is not the end of the road, but a detour that redirects us toward a better version of ourselves. Jung emphasized the importance of embracing life's unpredictability. By becoming adaptable, we learn to navigate through the chaos, and we stop fighting against the currents that once seemed to push us backward. We begin to ride those currents, using them as a means to fuel our forward motion. Learning and growth. In our quest to free ourselves from self-sabotage, we must also commit to lifelong learning. Growth is not a destination. It is a continuous process that unfolds as we move through life. Every day is an opportunity to learn, to discover new truths about ourselves and the world around us. And through this constant learning, we sharpen our ability to make better choices, to create a life that is aligned with our true potential. Learning is not just about gaining knowledge. It is about applying that knowledge to our lives in meaningful ways. It is about integrating the wisdom we've gained into our daily actions, using it as a guide to overcome obstacles and rise above the challenges that come our way. The more we learn, the more we grow. And as we grow, we stop sabotaging ourselves. We become empowered to take full ownership of our lives and our future. The final truth: the journey out of self-sabotage is not easy, and it is not a quick fix. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to confront the parts of ourselves we'd rather avoid. But through self-awareness, action, discipline, and resilience, we can break the cycle of self-sabotage once and for all. In the end, the key to freeing yourself from self-sabotage is this: you must accept the totality of who you are, the light and the shadow, the strengths and the weaknesses, the triumphs and the failures. You must stop running from your pain, stop hiding from your fears, and stop sabotaging your own growth. When you learn to embrace the entirety of your being, when you no longer see yourself as broken or unworthy, you will finally free yourself from the prison of self-sabotage. You will become the creator of your life, and in doing so, you will realize that you were never meant to live in the shadows of your own limitations. You were meant to step into the full brilliance of your potential. The choice is yours. Will you continue to sabotage your life, or will you step into the truth of who you are? The path is before you, your shadow, your light, and everything in between. Embrace it, for it is through embracing yourself fully that you will finally live the life you were always meant to live. There is a point somewhere between the depths of our fears and the chaos of our desires where we begin to realize that we are no longer just victims of circumstance. We are architects of our own existence. Carl Jung understood that this moment is the crossing of the threshold, the point at which we stop merely surviving, stop reacting, and start consciously creating. But to reach that threshold, to step over the line from despair into possibility, we must first confront the dissonance within. The inner conflict, the war we wage between the parts of us that desire freedom and the parts that want to stay small, safe, hidden. The comfort of the known is seductive. It promises a false peace, but this peace is nothing more than stagnation, the kind that rots away at your spirit. Comfort lies to you, telling you that you've arrived, that the struggle is over. But deep inside, you feel it, the gnawing hunger, the emptiness that only growth and transformation can fill. To truly break free, you must make a decision, a commitment to no longer allow the past to dictate the terms of your future. You must choose to rise above the weight of your own limitations and see beyond the veil of fear. In the act of this choice, there is a kind of alchemy. The lead of self-doubt, shame, and guilt transforms into the gold of self-realization, strength, and purpose. But this is not easy, for the pull of the unconscious is strong, and it often disguises itself as comfort. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This statement is a mirror. When you reflect upon it, what do you see? The actions that seem beyond your control, the self-destructive patterns, the tendencies to sabotage what could be a beautiful future. It is your unconscious, your shadow self, driving those decisions. The ego tells you that you don't have the power, that it's too hard, that you're not worthy. But the truth is, it is your own shadow that creates the chains that bind you. The shadow is not some external force, it's a part of you. It is every piece of yourself that you have repressed, denied, or discarded. It is the unlived life, the potential that has been forgotten or buried. And in order to truly break free, you must go into the darkness, not with fear, but with courage. You must be willing to bring those hidden parts of yourself to the light. In the darkness of the shadow, there is both fear and treasure. Jung didn't see the shadow as something to be feared, but as something to be integrated. Because within the shadow lies the truth of who you truly are. To avoid the shadow is to avoid your power. To confront it is to claim it. When you begin to explore the depths of your own unconscious, you awaken a part of yourself that was previously dormant. This is the part of you that knows no limits, the part that can turn failure into success, pain into wisdom, and fear into freedom. It's the part of you that knows what you are truly capable of if you just stop sabotaging your own efforts. And yet, here's the catch. You will never truly break free of your own sabotage until you understand why you do it in the first place. You cannot heal what you do not understand. You cannot change what you do not confront. And so the key is awareness. The key is to look deeply at yourself, at your motives, your beliefs, and your hidden desires. What do you see when you look at your life? Do you see the patterns that keep repeating? Do you see the ways you sabotage your success, your relationships, your happiness? Do you see the ways you sabotage yourself? The unconscious mind does not operate from logic. It operates from feelings, fears, and old wounds. It doesn't care about what's right or wrong. It cares about survival. And if survival means staying in a toxic relationship, staying in a job you hate, or staying small and safe, then that's what your unconscious will do. The antidote to this is awareness. The antidote is bringing your shadow into the light of consciousness. By recognizing the unconscious patterns that control your life, you take the power away from them. You begin to change your behaviors, your beliefs, and your outcomes. You no longer let your shadow dictate your actions. You begin to take control of your life. And that's when transformation happens. This is the process of individuation, the journey of becoming whole. It's the journey of aligning the conscious with the unconscious, of bringing the hidden parts of yourself into the light. The process of individuation is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart, but it is the only way to break free from the cycle of self-sabotage. Through individuation, you begin to understand that you are not just a collection of fragmented parts. You are not your fears, your mistakes, your failures, or your past. You are not your shadow. You are the conscious creator of your own life. You are the one who decides who you are and who you will become. It is time to stop sabotaging your life. It is time to stop believing that you are powerless. It is time to stop allowing your fears, your past, and your shadow to control you. You have the power to choose. You have the power to create a life that aligns with your true self. In the words of Carl Jung, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. You have been given the privilege. Now it's time to step into it. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Let's support each other on this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more empowering content that will help you break free from your own self-sabotage and live the life you were meant to live.